because this is about the 2.21 update that just was pushed out by Sprint. There has been bugs with GPS and stuff with the phone at release. Let's just show that that's now working, and then I'll go into the obligatory screenshot of the come on, all right, improve my location. Yeah, of course. Never show settings. Wi-Fi. This is just installed, 2.21 fresh. The only difference being that I have installed Launcher Pro, which is my preferred default launcher, and other than that, we're bone stock. I'm on Android Market to make sure that I've installed all the updates, and we can see that the GPS is synced, and there we go. And we have solid GPS lock, and we're on solid GPS, and we're good. We can do Find My Location. We can see that that's on. We can see that GPS is on, and if you can see that the actual icon is solid and we are linked up. Let's go ahead and go with the obligatory system screenshot of the information. You can see that the icons in the settings window are now in color, which is a new change. We'll just start there. When you see that the firmware version there is 2.21, this is the DK28 build that you've seen talked about maybe. So let's just start going into the changes. On the notification bar, you've now got an option for silent here. Point it towards there. He's got an option for silent there. In addition, through the phone, you've also got an option to toggle silent just by holding the pound key. That's new. The power screen now has color icons. I don't think anything's really different there. Main changes for me. Voice control over Bluetooth now works. Cold Stone Creamery, Rancho Cucamonga. Okay. The problem with this was voice control, voice actions, as long as you had Bluetooth connected, would say no voice heard. I have an A2DP headset, so it would attempt to route the voice audio through there. Presumably, if I disabled A2DP on the jawbone, then it would use the internal speaker. But because I use this often in the car, that really isn't sufficient. So to be able to have the audio for the voice actions go over the Bluetooth is a huge change. The other major change for me, sorry, it's 5 in the morning and I've been up for a couple hours playing with this, and I'm just happy to have it working. The other major change that is very appreciated in the new build is that the calendar now defaults events to the Google Calendar. So we'll just go ahead and create an event. And we can see that right there, the calendar is defaulting to my calendar and not the built-in phone calendar, which is the previous default. That was really bad. Having to remember to go in and change every event or do it when you create the event really kind of takes you out of the process that you're in when you're trying to create those events. So that's a very, very welcome change. Sorry, let me just go over my list of changes here. The text message style is now a little bit different. They created their own text messaging app. Shoot, I haven't actually done any text messages, but needless to say, you can find some screenshots somewhere else. But basically, it looks a lot like the iPhone. They use a blue and gold color scheme in talk bubbles. What I found a problem with that, though, it doesn't look like you can actually select text with that. On the note of selecting text, we can go into a change that I noticed there. Let's just go ahead and launch Gmail. Let's go ahead and compose a message. And let's just go ahead and swipe whatever. Okay, so I went ahead and swiped whatever there. And I'll just go ahead and you want... Oops. Wrong. Okay, so the new change in selecting text, if you tap, now this is only in portrait mode, you get this little toggle here. I have not seen this on the Evo, but anyway, so the way this works is you can click and drag that. So, I mean, if you remember, or if you've used it before, text selection on Android is kind of a pain. So when you let go after you drag, you get this option, which is select text. Begin selecting text. So I'm going to go to the end of whatever you want to, whatever you want. Okay. And we've got copy, cut, search, and share. Share actually creates an email or Bluetooth or whatever, hooks into all those applications, Evernote, Twitter, Facebook, with whatever's selected there. Copy cut, obviously. I mean, come on. I can search for that as well. So that just does a Google, it's just as if doing the voice actions or typing it directly into the Google bar. So that's just kind of interesting. That's a welcome change to be able to have those abilities directly from the bar there. It also appears you can change the selection, and then bam, you just get the pop-up there. I'll just show you what happens when we hit share there, and there we go. Share with, and it's got built-in, because again I haven't installed any of the extra apps, Bluetooth, Facebook, Gmail, messaging. Let's see, silent in phone, silent mode on notification. I've noticed that there's colorful, the color scheme has changed in general to a darker blue. The orientations, this is interesting because as you can see this device has the keyboard, and so really it wants to be used in this mode. But what I found is it supports now, because it did not before, this orientation. Wait for it, there it goes. But it does not support this orientation, the upside down orientation. And that's fine. Now here's another thing. The timeout for the orientation is actually a little bit different. It's not as responsive in some ways as it was, and I think that's kind of a good, because I think it's a little bit of a filter. But just to prove that that's not actually a UI delay, but like actually a setting, I'll provide this following demonstration. Here we are portrait, here we are landscape, 1, 2, 3, landscape. Okay, so here we are portrait, 1, 2, 3, portrait. Okay, so let's go ahead and flip out the keyboard. There you go. Proof's in the pudding. Takes about a second, half second for it to switch. When we switch, it does both. But on the opening, just like that, like butter. And see, that's the thing. If you're in this orientation when you open, and in this orientation when you close, it stays. If you're in this orientation when you open, and then you're in this orientation when you close, bam. Wait, there it goes. Sorry, hang on, let me just try that again as proof. Wait for it. Okay. Let's give the sensor a time to filter out. Now it wants to switch as of this 3rd second. Now watch. Bam. Instant. So, not something I'm just imagining. So, Bluetooth works, calendar works. Those are the major bugs that are showstoppers. So other than that, these are all just improvements. The calendar application I noticed, or sorry, calendar we already talked about. Contacts. When you scroll the contacts, if you have in the settings, more display options. Now let's just go ahead, sort by last name, because that's my preference. Now this is kind of cool. Done. Now check this out. When I scroll, ooh, I like that. How's that for a nice clean UI? It hides the less significant portion of the name. So I kind of like that change. We got our velocity scrolling, and of course we've got our initials along the side that we can use. Another feature that I like in here, you can actually just type. I'll just show you that. Sorry. And there you go. It's bringing up those people just by typing. We can also go phone, contacts, and it's the same deal from here. There you go. Just go ahead and go back to our list of changes. More voice control, or more volume options. If we go into settings, we go into sound, we go into volume, you can see that we've got separate settings for incoming call, media, system volume, and notification volume there. So there you go. There's a new clock application. It's got separate alarm setup, which I actually really like this. Let's just go ahead and create an alarm. Let's just go ahead and call it 9 or 8 a.m. and then alarm repeat daily, save, and then it'll allow me to snooze, and we can choose how often the snooze is, kind of like this. The snooze repeat, how many times it lets you snooze, and then also in this list you can enable or disable the alarm, and if you're in snooze mode, it actually shows a little yellow Z thing, so you can actually turn off the snooze if you're midway through a snooze and you decide to get up, which happened this morning when I was playing with this. World clock, stopwatch, and timer, which I don't recall those being there before, and I say that because I was using the stopwatch timer Android app from the market. Although I will admit, among all the things that I do remember that's different in this, that is not one of them. There is also a voice recorder app, which was actually advertised on the box, but not included in the 2.1 build that was shipped. Actually supports landscape orientation, which I thought was kind of cute. Yeah, simple, functional, works very well, just like the phone itself. And actually I've got my Bluetooth on, so it's going to play back through there, so let's turn that off. Allow that to go back, and there's our voice recording. Bang. Works very well, just like the phone itself. Separately, I got the Jawbone Jambox, tried it out, not impressed with the speakerphone capabilities specifically. Speaker capabilities were exceptional. Speakerphone capabilities, very lacking. This guy has much better speakerphone than the Jawbone Jambox. Although I am a huge fan of this dude. Jawbone. Oh man. I'm so tired. It's 5 a.m. I don't think it's the Jawbone 2, because there's been the Jawbone Prime. Anyway. Separate. New Clark. This I like. This I like a lot. If you've been using this, and maybe you were liking the fact that this guy had like a front-facing camera, but then you tried to use it and you found out there was no option for it in the in the actual camera application, that happened to me, and I got to tell you, I was kind of angry about it. But you know, okay. And here's the other thing: it was only enabled in the Kick application, the Kick or Quick, however you want to pronounce it, video conferencing application, and you have to register for that. And I was reluctant to do so. I had the phone for a while, got the Kick application, finally did register, and then I found out that because this camera on the front here is oriented, what's going on here? Come on, come on, don't do this to me. There we go. We can flip, and then, hooray, we've got a front-facing camera. Isn't that just fantastic? Don't you love it? Don't you love it? And it looks right. So the interesting thing is, you notice that the picture is oriented in landscape orientation, even though we're in portrait mode. That is, I don't know, maybe you want to call it a feature, maybe you want to call it a bug, but it was a bug at least in the rendering of it in the old software. The Kick video conferencing software, which I haven't tested in the new software because, again, this is totally stock, and I guess Kick is included, but I really haven't tried it. It would squish the image. It would display the landscape image in a portrait form factor, but it would just squeeze it in a way that made me that narrow. And that wasn't cool to see on your brand new device that you spend all this money on, and you're like, oh wow, I'm gonna check out this feature, and you try, and you realize why they hid it from you. And that sucked. But anyway, moving on, because it's fixed now, and so it's water under the bridge. Great device. Again, Android Market. Android Market, only real main change, you can check a button that says update automatically, which I dug. So we'll just go to menu, sorry, come on, menu, downloads. This is not an unresponsive phone, sorry, it's really just the angle that I'm trying to hit it at and show you at it. I'm sure it's annoying when I kind of drift towards it have here, so let's just get back on it. You can see Google installed. There's an option, allow automatic updating, and that's checked. So when that's checked, it will periodically check the market. Anything you don't have that checked for, it will notify you that you need to put those on. Contacts UI, text selection, news voice recorder. Okay, last one I'm going to show you that I didn't make notes on because it happened and I missed it is in the phone. Let's just go ahead and make a call. I'm just going to call voicemail because it's freaking 5 in the morning and nobody I know is up at 5 in the morning. Okay, call. We're calling. As soon as we actually connect, if we switch back to the home screen, you notice that the notification bar has turned green. And this is, sorry, orientation or proximity sensor. Bring this guy down. Come on, work with me. Bring this guy down and check it out. I love this. We got switch to phone. We got mute, speaker, and end right freaking there. And it ended.